This is a special report from KSL. Tonight, Broadway at the Eccles.
First time I'm thinking past tomorrow.
Hamilton, the hip-hop sensation hitting the stage in Utah. Plus, something else, something rotten.
So an actor is saying his lines, and then out of nowhere, he just starts singing. Yeah!
The Shakespeare show where Shakespeare takes the back seat. And the musical that's in a class by itself.
I think it sounds like it's time for The Sound of Music in Salt Lake City.
Tonight, a KSL special with Carole Mikita. Broadway at the Eccles.
Good evening and welcome to Broadway at the Eccles. We have a very spectacular evening as we unveil the hit shows coming to this next season at the George S. and Dolores Dore Eccles Theater. Now, among these top tier shows that are coming is one that has a lot of people buzzing. That would be Hamilton.
Rise up, rise up. It's time to take a shot. Rise up, rise up. It's time to take a shot. Rise up. It's time to take a shot. Rise up. Take a shot.
Salt Lake City will be one of the first cities in North America to see Hamilton outside of Broadway. Inspired by the life of American founding father Alexander Hamilton, this show has taken the country by storm.
Hamilton is us. Hamilton is an expression of the greatest values, the greatest impulses of the American people.
This show, created by Lin-Manuel Miranda, has seen unprecedented advanced box office sales, won 11 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. And coming up a little later in the show, another preview of what to expect from Hamilton when it hits the stage here, and why this musical is reaching across generations. Plus, a complete look at the 2017-2018 season schedule. The anticipation and excitement around this show is palpable. Part of it is it's hip hop, it's R&B, it's Britpop, and all of these musical numbers are showstoppers. We met people recently in New York City who have been waiting months to see Hamilton.
We've been waiting for 6 months, and before that we were waiting for tickets to go on sale, so we're super excited to be here.
My daughter always listens to Hamilton in the car. I've been listening so many times to the song, so now it's time to go and see.
I'm looking forward to seeing the cast. This is my third time going, actually.
You have to see it. It's an incredible piece.
We've been waiting for a year to see this.
And besides the long wait, some travel across the country to get seats to this decade's hottest show. But now, Hamilton is coming to Salt Lake City. Okay, this next show is guaranteed to sweep you off your feet and into the arms of a story of great romance, An American in Paris.
Wonderful, wonderful, marvelous, that she should care for me.
This is a classic musical with a timeless story. Jerry is an American expatriate painter in post-World War II Paris. Struggling to find success in both art and love, his life is turned upside down when he meets and falls in love. This lavish musical won Best Picture Oscar in 1951 with its intriguing story, gorgeous dance sequences, and beautiful, frequently melancholic Gershwin score. Next is a family favorite and the most successful show in musical history, The Sound of Music. Theater lovers will know that it was originally written by Rodgers and Hammerstein for the stage and opened on Broadway in 1959. Most of us recall the beloved film version with Julie Andrews, of course, and that was in 1965. But this brand new production, adapted from the original stage production, will give you a greater appreciation for the award-winning show.
I don't know of any other Broadway musical that exists in its Broadway version and then in its film version with equal strength. Anybody who sees this production of The Sound of Music will be surprised by things if you only know the movie.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
The spirited, romantic, beloved story of Maria and the Von Trapp family once again thrilling audiences with its award-winning score, My Favorite Things, Do Re Mi, Climb Every Mountain, Edelweiss. For our first season announcement show, the Eccles was still under construction. And so photographer Brandon Whitworth and I decided to come here and find out how people really feel about this building and the shows.
Outside, rain and wind. Inside the new Eccles Theater, excitement.
It's just beautiful, like something you'd see in New York or London. It's just beautiful.
Your first thought when you walked in?
Wow. It was like breathtaking, actually.
This is our first time here, so we're excited. I work across the street, so I've seen it built from the ground up and excited to come and see what's here.
It's beautiful. I haven't been in here before. It's lovely.
Another Broadway touring company came to town.
My sister and my mom went to New York and saw Matilda, and I know all the songs, and I think that it's going to be really cool to see it actually.
We've been wanting to see Matilda for about 4 years, so we were ecstatic when we found out it was going to be here, and it's just gorgeous.
So we've talked to a lot of people who are seeing the Eccles Theater for the first time and loving it. But we've also spoken with people who have season tickets, and they're just as enthusiastic.
The theater's beautiful. It's spacious, and there's lots of leg room in the seats, and every seat is good. Like when we came to the open house, we sat in lots of different seats, and they're all fabulous.
Yeah.
You can see everything, no matter where you are.
You wonder before the shows, is this something we're gonna like? And I've been really surprised, actually. Like, I wasn't real thrilled about seeing a show about Carole King, but when we came, it was wonderful.
We bought season tickets this year, so hopefully we'll get in on the Hamilton tickets coming up. We tried to see that in New York and couldn't get in, so yeah, that's our big plan.
The curtain is about to rise, but before that happens, you'll know the next show in the 2017-18 season here at the Eccles Theater. We'll be right back.
In all your fantasies, you always knew.
The music, the costumes, the mystery. It's the Broadway production that is timeless, The Phantom of the Opera. Andrew Lloyd Webber is the mastermind behind this beautiful creation, loved now for generations. It first came to Salt Lake City in 1996 at the Capitol Theater, and the last time the musical was here was 2004. Much to look forward to. And with this new production, you are still tied to a sense of nostalgia with the beautiful music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. But you can come to the theater expecting the unexpected, something new for a new generation. Welcome back here to the Eccles Theater. You can see this invited audience. They're all season ticket holders for this announcement party. One of the first shows coming with the next season here at the Eccles is the musical based on the movie The Bodyguard. Laced with some of Whitney Houston's iconic songs, it was one of the biggest soundtracks of all time, and creators have taken the love story from the screen to the stage.
We want shared experiences. So even though you're going to the theater and you're sitting in the dark, you're sharing that with 2,000 plus people, right? And so that is part of the fulfillment of what one's soul needs.
Deborah Cox, who plays the lead role of Rachel Marin, is a vocal dynamo, putting her own styling and vocal theatrics to hits like I Will Always Love You, I'm Every Woman, and One Moment in Time. Even as the theater fills, people are wondering, what's the next show in the 2017-18 season? We'll share it with you right after this. Welcome back live to the new George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Theater, where we are previewing the second season of Broadway at the Eccles. We're in the middle of a party. Now, one of the shows that's getting a lot of buzz here and everywhere else is Hamilton.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation.
It is the story of our founding fathers told in a way we've never seen before. Washington, Jefferson, Madison, and of course, Alexander Hamilton. They're making war, writing the Constitution, debating the economy. Does that sound familiar? It's a theme resonating with every age.
I've just never seen it happen before, where the history is attracting the people in their 90s who just love to see some of their favorite figures from history, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, come to life in such full-blooded form. And then we have the 9, 10, and 11-year-olds who are memorizing the album by heart before they ever come to the theater.
Tickets to this show are definitely hard to come by, and because of overwhelming demand right now, only season tickets are available, but your name can be put on a wait list. Just log on to BroadwayAtTheEccles.com. Get on that wait list. Besides bringing big-name shows to Salt Lake City, the new Eccles Theater is a great home to shows we look forward to every year. Great shows for the families, great shows for the holidays.
Even little children think that Santa's overrated. I kinda get the feeling that New York is chilling.
That's Elf, based on the popular movie. Buddy is an elf, but not a real elf who grew up at the North Pole. Years later, he finds out he's an ordinary human and heads to New York City to find his father. Problem is, his father doesn't believe in the spirit of Christmas, and nor do many other New Yorkers. But that's no problem for this elf. He gets people believing. And a tradition for many here in Salt Lake City is a Kurt Bester Christmas. He helped open the first season here at the Eccles and will be back for a second season. A show filled with traditional Christmas music and his own. Every year, he writes a new carol for his audience. And what has become another Christmas classic, Mannheim Steamroller. The music we've come to love with dazzling multimedia effects. Now, the first album was released back in 1984, do you remember? And has since revolutionized holiday music. Another extra for the second season here is going strong for 20 years now, Riverdance. The international Irish dance phenomenon is back by popular demand, performing in more than 60 cities across the country this year, including Salt Lake City. 20 years. 20 years. Can you believe it? Some members of this company weren't even born when the first company performed. The show is filled with history and culture, but beyond that, it's just a really fabulous experience with a little something for everyone. Fabulous musicians and amazing dancers. No wonder it's been going strong for 2 decades. This next show is taking us back in history once again, this time to the 1960s, where 4 guys from Jersey hit their very first notes. They had a sound nobody had ever heard before, and the radio just couldn't get enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 4 Seasons.
Jersey Boys takes you behind the music and inside the story of Frankie Valli and the 4 Seasons. From the streets of New Jersey to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this is the musical that's just too good to be true.
I knew it was good but I had no idea that it would reach so many people in so many different ways.
A friend of mine came to see the show, and he said, you know, I think this show is going to be bigger than you guys were. So I said, well, terrific.
This musical has been riding up the charts as one of the longest-running shows on Broadway for more than 10 years. From TV shows to movies to commercials, the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons has been the soundtrack to many of our lives. Let's review now. The schedule for the add-on shows kicks off with Elf right before the holiday season. It's at the Eccles for 3 nights only, November 24th through the 26th. So make sure you get your tickets early. And it's the same with A Kurt Bester Christmas and Mannheim Steamroller. Kurt Bester takes the stage December 14th through the 16th, and Mannheim is here for only 2 nights, December 22nd and 23rd. In 2018, Riverdance is here in April from the 3rd to the 8th. And then in June, Jersey Boys has a 3-night run from the 15th through the 17th. Okay, coming up next, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. Or is that Shakespeare or competition for Shakespeare? Adding music into the mix? We have to see, you have to see Broadway's newest hit. That's coming up.
And for some unexplainable reason, the crowd goes wild every time.
And one of Broadway's newest hits has the crowd going wild every night. It's called Something Rotten. That's true. The creators of this latest hit were so confident they called it Something Rotten.
So an actor is saying his lines, and then out of nowhere, he just starts singing. Yeah!
With song and dance and sweet romance, and with a musical we might have a chance.
Right out of the gate, the show starts with a burst of energy that only builds from there. Now, it is set in 1595. The story follows 2 brothers who struggle to find success in the theatrical world as they compete with the wildly popular contemporary William Shakespeare. Their solution for success? A musical, the first one ever produced. So here it is, the lineup for the 2017-18 Broadway at the Eccles. It starts in October with An American in Paris, the 10th through the 15th, then December, The Bodyguard, the 5th through the 10th. We start 2018 with Something Rotten, January 9th through the 14th. The following month, a family favorite, The Sound of Music, February 27th through March 4th. The one everyone's waiting for, Hamilton. The first curtain call, April 11th, stays here until May 6th. And another Broadway favorite, Phantom. It wraps up the season starting July 11th through the 22nd. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Have a great evening and a great season.